Have you ever heard the saying, love is all you need? As it turns out, love alone isn't enough to keep a couple together, and any of you who are still hanging on to your ex know that. So, how can you let go of your ex after a breakup and start moving on to a better relationship and a better you? It might feel impossible right now, but I'm going to give you 3 steps to help you let go and move on. As far as I know, no one gets into a relationship with the intention of breaking up. When you date someone, it's because you want it to work out. You open up to a guy, share your feelings about yourself with him, and get really attached. That's why it's so devastating when he's just gone. In that moment, all you're doing is wishing and hoping that he'll come back. That, like in the movies, he'll suddenly realize he's made a terrible mistake and he'll come running back in to pledge his undying love to you. The movies make it seem so real, but unfortunately, that's just not how it works 98% of the time. Even with those odds, I bet you're still wondering, but Jonathan, why should I move on? Maybe I'm the 2%. So let me tell you about my own experience with breakups and no contact. You see, before I met my wife, I was in a long-term relationship with a woman who I thought I was going to marry. We were together for many years and often talked about our future together, making lots of plans. I truly felt like she was going to be the one for me. But guess what? She wasn't. There were signs like the fact that we had very different values and very different backgrounds. But what kind of signs are that in the face of love? There was also the fact that her family really didn't like me. It turns out that, surprise, love wasn't enough, and in the end, her family was more important to her than our relationship. No matter how much we loved each other, it just wasn't enough. But I wasn't ready to let go. No. No contact? No way. When we broke up, I was convinced that we would find a way to make it work, just like in the movies. I thought I was moving on by dating other people, but really, I was still hanging on to her. Even though we weren't together, I was still so emotionally invested in my ex, which meant that I really couldn't open up to new people and have possibility or investment with someone else. I unfairly compared every new person I dated to her. When it didn't work out, I'd spiral again and again at all the ways my life wasn't complete without her. Have you ever felt that way? Write in the comments and let me know if that's ever been you. The thing was, I was dooming my relationships right from the start, which wasn't making me a nicer, more loving, more accepting, or more open person. It would be easy to blame my ex for how miserable I was, but she wasn't even there anymore in my life. I was doing it to myself. I was deep in my playlist of Taylor Swift breakup songs. Sounds fun, right? No, it totally sucked. And I did find a way to move on, and once I let go, that's exactly when I met the woman that I'm now married to. Now, you're probably thinking to yourself, that's great, Jonathan, but tell me how to actually do that for myself. Tell me your secrets. Let's get to the 3 things you can do now to let go of your ex and start moving on. And I know this works because I did it myself. So, like T Swift says, here's how you can shake it off. Number 1, no contact is the right thing to do, even though it may feel very wrong. I didn't do this with my ex, and that was a mistake. After the breakup, we still texted a lot, and all it did was stop me from healing and moving on. I just couldn't let go of her. I mean, I've seen The Notebook. I know you're supposed to pine unrequitedly for about 10 years, drink a lot, build a house for them, and then eventually they come back and see how amazing you are, and you get that great makeout scene in the rain. Newsflash, life doesn't actually work out that way. Don't make this mistake. Instead, commit to go no contact. Make plans with your friends and go enjoy yourself away from the memories and thoughts of your ex. Otherwise, all you're going to do is continually reopen the wound on your heart. And you don't deserve that. So, cut them off. Go no contact and start to give yourself new opportunities for a new you. Number 2, look at the pros and the cons of the relationship. Often after a breakup, people either focus on all the negative things or on all the positive things that happened in the relationship. This isn't a very balanced approach, and to be honest, nothing is all good or all bad. It also keeps you in a heightened emotional state, thus making it harder to move on. Don't do this. Instead, make a list of the things that worked and especially the things that didn't work. Another reason this is useful, especially if you feel like you can't stop hanging on to your ex, is because it reminds you of the reasons why the relationship didn't work. In hindsight, you might even start to see problems that you didn't realize were there when you were so close to it. For example, with my ex, we had totally different religious backgrounds and values. At the time, I thought it was fine, but in retrospect, I realized that was a major deal breaker for us. Being able to clearly see the issues helps loosen your attachment to your ex, because if all those problems are still there, then the story will still end the same way, even if you guys do end up back together. Number three, you gotta keep playing for a new high score. Getting a high score in a game feels really good, right? Right now, you and your ex have the highest score in the game called relationships. Of course, no one else can compare, especially if you aren't trying for a new high score. If you never play full out again and really go for a new relationship, then guess what? That old score will haunt you because it will always be at the top of your list. The more you focus on the idea that they were the best person ever, the larger the score looks, even without them in the picture anymore. I definitely did this for a while and kept comparing new people to my ex. But when I was finally able to step back and really commit to being open to a new relationship and willing to try something new, I realized something. My old high score wasn't actually that high. With my wife, our relationship score blows my old scores out of the water. But it was up to me to give her a chance, and also for me to play the game again, full out, for real. And I'm so glad that I did. Moving on after a breakup isn't easy, and it's different for every single person. So be kind to yourself and remember that the only way to stop feeling stuck after a breakup is to go no contact and do the three things we're talking about. Dust yourself off, learn your lessons about what worked and didn't work, and step back out into the dating world. I know it's tempting to wait for it to feel better, but honestly, if that's what it took, I'd still be waiting right alongside you. In truth, we never get back the parts of ourselves we give away in deep relationships. We simply have to find new parts to share with those around us.